who decided it was a good idea to give Steph Curry an all-NBA level teammate who decided it was a good idea to light a fire in Jimmy Butler? I guess the answer is Pat Riley, and everyone on the Golden State Warriors should be grateful right now. Because Jimmy Butler has turned this Warrior season around, and with the way they are currently playing, I'm not sure we can put a ceiling on this team with the Dubs now, 5-1 in the Jimmy Butler era, and have now recorded back-to-back blowout wins against the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. And if you want any idea as to how confident Steph Curry is about this new team, he was doing this during the third quarter. Does that bring back memories, guys? The Dubs blowing out teams in 3 quarters, and Steph Curry having 30 points before the fourth quarter is even started. Wow. It's been a long time since we've seen that. And it's been a long time since we've seen Steph Curry playing alongside another elite player, because that's exactly what Jimmy Butler is. And he is proving that every single night with him, currently averaging 20 points, just under 6 boards and 5 1/2 assists per game. But it goes beyond just the box score. This is someone who impacts the game in every single way possible. I mean, every single way possible. Not only is he defending at a high level, scoring at a high level, getting to the line at a crazy rate, but he's playmaking. Don't forget Jimmy is an elite playmaker amongst forwards, and he's making everyone's job easier. As a result, just watch him here faced up against Edwards. It's that quick shimmy to create separation, and once he's done that, all eyes are on him, which allows him to get in the paint, kicking it to post for the 3, or how about this time again in isolation? And even though he loses the handle, it's just the attention that he draws when he has the ball, which allows Moody capitalize sneaking back door, and Jimmy is good enough to find him. Or the dagger from this game, Jimmy gets the ball off the rebound, pushes the pace, and kicking it to Pods, who is wide open for 3. And if you want any idea as to how much Pods appreciates Jimmy, look at him after that shot jumping on top of him in disbelief at how much easier his life is, now that he's playing alongside another superstar. These are just a couple of examples of the playmaking Jimmy has brought with him, averaging over 5 assists per game since becoming a Warrior. And if you want to hear what makes that even more impressive, he's only averaging 1 turnover. This is why Jimmy has been incredible for this Dubs team, because not only is he giving you all of the impact, but he's doing so without taking away from other players on the roster, only averaging 12 shots a game, 1 turnover getting to the line. And, let's not forget Jimmy Butler is still an elite defender as well. Just look at him on this play. He's playing as a bit of a free safety here at the edge of the paint. And pause here. He recognizes the only place that pass is going is to try so immediately he jumps on it, getting the turnover before striking down the other end, dropping it off to Pods for the easy bucket. Or this time again, where he spots the action in real time, recognizing Prince is the outlet for Dame, so he jumps the passing lane, forcing the turnover. And this is what Jimmy does so well. It's the anticipation. He is constantly looking for ways to make a play on the defensive end of the floor. Some superstars treat defensive possessions as a way to rest up for offense, but Jimmy is just as locked in on defense as he is offensively, and it helps that he has the physical tools to pair with his IQ and anticipation. And I mentioned this in the last video, but Steph Curry has a new lease on life now. Some of us were smart enough to know Steph was never washed. Steph was still a top 10 player in the league, but for the people who have been watching closely, we could also see that the pressure, the defense, the sheer amount of workload for a 36-year-old was too much for Steph during the season. It would be too much for Pretty. Very few players in NBA history, let alone a 36-year-old undersized guard, could handle the type of defensive pressure Steph Curry faced earlier this season. But now that he has Jimmy Butler to help relieve some of that burden, we're witnessing the best and most consistent version of Steph all year. That all came to a head when he torched the Mavericks for 30 points in 3 quarters, capping it off with his signature night-night celebration in the third quarter. And if you know anything about Steph, you know he doesn't forget. Just weeks earlier, after the Mavs had beaten the Warriors in Dallas, PJ Washington was feeling himself, mocking the Dubs after the game. Well, Steph got his revenge, cooking him in isolation and letting him know about it. And that's the scary part. Steph is finally free to cook again, no more being swarmed by 3 defenders every possession. He's back to breaking down defenders one-on-one, hitting hesitation moves, using his strength to create space, and finishing through traffic, just like he did to Dante Exum and PJ Washington. The counter moves, the footwork, the shot making, this is the Steph Curry that has terrorized the league for over a decade. And now, he's got Jimmy Butler and an emerging supporting cast making the Warriors even more dangerous. Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski are thriving, both averaging around 15 ppg, while Moody drains threes and Pods hustles for 13 rebounds a game at just 6'4". And let's not forget the Warriors' secret weapon, a rookie drafted 52nd overall, who's already looking like a difference maker. If you haven't heard about Quinton Post, you're about to, because when the ball is in his hands, it feels like everything is going in. Stay tuned for that breakdown soon. And he has brought a different dynamic to this Warriors team. He might only play 15 minutes a night, but the shooting, the spacing, the size, and even the occasional playmaking ability opens up the game for the Warriors guards, and in particular Steph. With Post now shooting 42% from 3 on the season, and it's not just 1 or 2 attempts a game. No, he is getting his shots up, and he's also making shots from all over the CT. Like how about here, where Jimmy has Kobe White on the block? It's that. Quick move. And with Vuvie helping over, it's that ability to catch and shoot in such a quick manner that is different to a lot of bigs that can knock down the occasional 3. I mean, just to emphasize that. How many bigs have you seen get the pass? In transition, take a dribble, right? To beat the initial defender before knocking down the 3, or have had a play like this, which I really love. It looks like the Dubs are initially running the split action to get Pods off for the 3, but Pods rejects that to cut back door. Monk stays with him, so Post then pops out to the 3-point line, getting the pass from Draymond for the 3. This is why guys like Draymond and Jimmy are thriving for this team, because you have multiple actions. You have guys who can thrive in different ways, and as a result, there is a counter to the defense's initial reaction in the past. It felt like the Warriors had one way of playing, which was give the ball to Steph and hope that strategy still works, but they don't need to do that all the time, which is helping everyone, including Steph himself. And as of right now, this team looks like a legitimate threat in the West, and if you want to see me continue to talk about this, consider subscribing to the channel. Dropping a like on the video would be cool. Most important, have a great day. Shout out to Jimmy and Steph. Wow.